All right. Now I'm gonna focus in on a concept for people about gang stalking, and this is gonna be for people who maybe are just beginning to be what you call gang stalked, or for people. Most of the people who've been going through it for a long time are already gonna pretty much figure out. They've already figured out what I'm gonna be talking about. But if you just started going through gang stalking, if you have not noticed this yet, eventually the people who are the closest to you are going to be contacted in some sort of way to participate in the assignments. That's what all gang stalking is a series of individuals doing assignments. Wearing a red shirt, walking outside, driving past you in a car with the brights on, creating noise for the gang stalking. And these multiple different people may be in groups or singular, and they are approached and asked to participate in the assignment in various different ways. And throughout the community that you live in, the liaisons network through these people, whether it be through internet service. They get some sort of alert sent to them, and they get perks, and they get PayPal, Walmart cards, or whatever, free gas cards. Some people get free phones. I've noticed on multiple occasions how I'll be out walking the street, and there'll be individuals, before I even get to an area, they'll already be at the area, and they'll have financed the people and paid them. Even homeless people on the street to homeowners to come outside and gather for the street theater. And I'll recognize it because I know the color coding, I know what street theater looks like, I know the common pattern to see because I've been going through it for almost 3 years. So the same thing that happens in an ordinary social circle as you move through your life while you're being gang stalked, you notice this same exact occurrence in the people close to you, whether it be family members, or if you're a man, the women you go to; if you're a woman, the men you go to. Now, at first, it's a trip, and you're kind of like, what's going on? You know, like the people that I knew in one way, now they're looking at me differently based on the stories that they're being told, and based on the information they're being given, or just based on what they're doing in general, just based on their common activity, just based on them participating in the assignment. It's altered your relationship with the person. And so that creates some sort of arena of isolation between you and the person. And now if this begins to happen, not just people who work at the stores, all this stuff, people you're related to, but the people that you're trying. It can be your wife, it can be your husband, But you're saying, I remember one time I spoke to a woman for like 7-8 hours, and one day she was coming to pick me up. And through her work, I believe it was through her work, she was contacted and she started participating in the gang stalking assignments. But I never told her I was being gang stalked. I never explained that aspect to her. And then before she picked me up, she was approached and she was participating in the gang stalking, and that had severed like I was just like, man, what? And so I just wasted 7 hours talking to her, and you get angry about it. Because I was angry, and she didn't even look that good or nothing, but I was just angry about the situation because I invested 7 hours. It's something you get angry about. Like I invested 7 hours speaking to somebody on the phone, and some fucking basket case fruitcake freak motherfucker comes and gives them a prepaid credit card to participate in a gang stalk. That's how you feel, man. I'm being real. That's how you feel to participate in a gang stalking assignment. Like they're not doing, like all these other people, it's not good enough that all these other people have been participating in this. Why does this have to happen? And then it'll create that's how you feel. You feel just like I said, that it'll create a wall of isolation between you and the individual. And now you look at it like, damn, I didn't tell them about it before. Forget it. Like, move on, right? But once the person gets relaxed and they get used to doing that to you, then there's not much you're going to do anyway, because they're going to be used to it, and they're getting it's not. There's been a lot of different females, but there's been some who have been cool. There's been some women who have been cool. There's a few of them that I was seeing, and they participated to a degree, some of them, there was a couple of them who never got approached. That's rare too. That only happened a couple times, but like 99% of the time they're gonna be approached to participate in it. But there's some of them who did, and they, like, a couple of them kind of showed me about it. But most men, if you are married, like, that's gonna put such a strain on the relationship you're in, because the gang stalking systematically isolates you and cuts you off. If you're a woman. For women, it's worse. 70% of the people being hit with organized stalking are women. So, and for the women, it's way worse. But for the men, it's pretty bad. And, you know, I do stuff like, I do stuff myself. Like, I would recommend, you know, like, for a lot of men I'm gonna be honest with you, like, and the only way I can talk is on the internet. A lot of men have issues finding women that they can be around and be with, because everywhere they go, this gang stalking follows them. So, being up front, a lot of guys are going to need to go to, you know, working girls. You know, I would never recommend that anybody do anything illegal. I'd never recommend that anybody do anything like that. But, you know, there are massage parlors and there's working girls and strip clubs that men can go to. It's a healthy, I'm going to be honest with you. Men who are hit by gang stalking are pushed into a position to where they don't know what to do. And it's a sensitive subject for guys. A lot of guys don't want to talk about it. But they'll be sitting here like, oh my God, this girlfriend, she's gone. And these people, every time I talk to a woman, she's participating in the gang stalking assignments, and I don't know what to do. I can't handle it. I want some humans are animals, and animals need social comfort. They need emotional comfort and all this different type of stuff. And so a healthy type of activity would be getting around people you can talk to. If you can't talk to somebody like the way you want, just normally without them, I mean, you might have to go to a massage parlor, or you might have to go to like a strip joint. And that's not being derogatory or disrespectful of women, but I'm just saying most men are going to have to do things that they haven't done before in order to get themselves straightened out. And I've had a lot of guys call me with psychological issues. Like, one guy told me he hadn't talked to a woman realistically in 2 years. That's a long time for a grown man. You know, not to be around like that. That's a long time, right? And I told him, I said, you know, you may have to, you know, go speak to an entertaining lady, you know, and get your thing. Or you can maybe find, if you don't feel comfortable with that, then you're going to have to take a different route and be in a situation to where you can explain what's happening to you in a way where the other person might be emotionally open to feeling responsible for how you feel, if that makes sense. To whereas the woman will see that this gang stalking stuff is such a hindrance on you, if she really feels as though she cares about you, the people, because they got people out there who go to these people and talk to them directly and get them to do it. And sometimes it starts slowly, then it grows heavier and heavier and heavier to the point to where the person's just completely gone and they're going to do whatever they want them to do. So if you can't sit down with the person and create a relationship that's supportive of your needs about you being gang stalked, then it's not going to be below you to go speak to a woman who at a massage parlor or a girl of entertainment, or you know, there's women out there at the clubs and stuff, and there's different sorts of venues you can do that. That's a real sensitive subject for men that a lot of guys don't talk about, but that's one of the most harmful things through the gang stalking orchestrations. Man, if you could go out for 48 hours, just 24 hours is enough, but if you can go out for 48 hours and see all the different people participating in the gang stalking, and every time you go to somebody and you think the person might be a good, you know, like, hey, man, this person looks cool, I want to get to know them, and you get in communication with them, and then they get approached and they participate in the gang stalking, that's like a feeling of rejection. Psychologically, subliminally, that's a feeling of rejection. And the people who orchestrate the gang stalking, like I said, they're like puppet people with strings and stuff. They know that. They know you're an emotional creature. You're a human. If you're a man, you see this woman, she looks pretty, she looks fine, you want to be with her. they know how that works, so they want to mutate and manipulate the situation. So within yourself, there's a disconnection, and it's one more blow. Like, man, my boss, he was gang stalking me, or she was gang stalking me. One more blow. All my neighbors are doing it. One more blow. Everywhere I go, the stores are doing it. One more blow. Now a woman that I'm going to see, now she's doing one more blow. Like the whole world's doing it. It's like putting somebody in a glass jar, and they're sitting there going, ah, like that. That's how sophisticated the gang stalking network is. It's more terrible than you think. They call it no-touch torture or the silent dagger. It really is that bad. I wouldn't lie to you. I've been going through it for almost 3 years, and I don't have any reason to lie about it. You know, and it's horrible, and it really is. And you know, it has not been. You know, I'm a man, and it has not been below me to go speak to. You know, that's one of the first things I learned to do was to go speak. You know, if it. You know, sometimes you have to do that. You have to. There may be women out there who are in the entertainment industry or something, and it may not be below you to get yourself a dance or something like. You know what I mean? I'm just being for real. Like I'm not trying to be funny or anything like that. I'm being serious. It's a really horrible thing to get gang stalked, and it affects men really bad. I'm just open to talking about it. I do courses on it and counseling on it, so it doesn't bother me. Like I know who I am, and I know how my life's been going. So now for women, on the other hand, I think for women that's a much more worse situation, because I don't see it. Because women, a lot of women, even though they're being gang stalked, a lot of guys still, they're still going to kind of. For women, it's a bad situation because I think they get into situations with the guys and they become trusting and they become open, and guys come into their life and kind of like stab them in the back. Or there are guys, I've talked to a few women who get consistently gang stalked by the guys too, and they can't even talk to the guys, just like I seem to, like, with the women. As soon as I show up somewhere and I see people participating in gang stalking assignments, it's already a feeling of, man, there's already a buffer there. There's already something there where these people got some sort of agenda. You see them looking at their smartphones, walking with the GPS map and all this stuff. They're participating in all this stuff, so it's already something there in the way of a normal interaction. And so to live like that every single day is different than just explaining it on one YouTube video. Explaining on one YouTube video how that's systematically orchestrated out every single day, everywhere you go, is one thing, but to actually live it day to day to day to day to day to day to day, is another thing. And so, like, a lot of men end up in, I think, what you call one-night stands with women, and they end up going to like a lot of different, like, prostitutes and stuff like that. And I guess, I don't know. I guess if the guy goes to a women like that, and then he goes back to them, even though he's giving them money, they still might be doing the gang stalking and stuff. I don't, you know what I mean? I guess, but this seems to be a crisis situation for a lot of. This seems to be like a crisis situation for a lot of men. There's a lot of men depressed and don't know what to do. I wouldn't care. Like if I was married and I was in a situation where my wife left me, or especially if it was a situation with children and stuff, I wouldn't have any problem going and paying a working girl. I wouldn't do nothing wrong or nothing illegal. I'm not saying that, but you know what I'm saying though. Like, if you know your life's falling apart and you're being gang stalked and you've been covertly drugged and you've had electronic weapons used on you and you've been severely attacked and traumatized by group stalking, what is it going to hurt to step outside the box and go go get yourself some entertainment? It might save your life. I'd recommend that before I recommend that somebody killed themselves. That's for sure. People, no, I'm being, because people email me. Like, there's a lot of guys who've emailed me and said they were suicidal or whatever. And there's one guy on my phone. He says he hasn't been with a woman in 5 years because of the gang stalking. I told him to go to the massage parlor. There's something wrong. I mean, there's something wrong with that scenario. There's something wrong with that whole scenario. It's not healthy. So gang stalking and relationships is a real touchy. It's a real touchy issue, you know. But that's just one subject I wanted to get out into the open, that I'm familiar with that. So if people want suggestions, like on how, people usually want somebody to talk to, I do the crisis counseling, and mainly my stuff is for people just to get a hang on what is happening, how they're being, you know, like they don't know they're being gang stalked, the signs to look for, how to get through it, what to expect. They just need somebody to talk to. But like if it's a merit, like I proposed before, like I'm down for like an intervention. Like if somebody says my family members don't believe me, or my boss doesn't believe me, or there's somebody that doesn't believe me, and can you mediate and get involved? I'll get involved in an intervention. If you're a man and you're having marital issues or something like that, or you want advice on, you just want somebody, I think it's you just want somebody, like you just like, I need somebody to talk to, I don't know what to do. Or if you're a woman and you've had several men stab you in the back and hurt you and harm you, I know a lot about that because similar things like that have come my way, but I know a lot of women who that happens to. I've spoken to close to 90 different people who've been going through gang stalking. The majority of them have been women. And so it's the thing I'm familiar with. You know, when I watch people's videos on YouTube about gang stalking, a lot of the time they like to talk about, oh, they sit there and say, oh, the electronic weapons and everything's so bad and this and that. And they don't ever get into the real issues, you know. And this is a touchy subject. I don't want to come across for my audience to seem vulgar, like, what's Jamil talking about? He just said you can go see a working girl or something. Well, yeah, man, I don't want somebody to kill themselves or go hurt somebody else or do something wrong because they're confused and they can't get the emotional connection they need. What's going to the strip joint or something going to hurt nobody? So those are things you might have to do. And I mean, I'm the type of person, like, I don't got a car, I don't got nothing. So if you were like a businessman and you just want to, you're getting gang stalked and you need a consultant to come with you along, I'm down. Like if you were like, man, I own a business, I'm a business owner and I'm married and I gotta save my relationship with my wife, or I gotta save my life and I'm being gang stalked and nobody understands, and you call me up and you want it to come through, I'll show you how to do it. Like I walk up to the people and tell them I beat gang stalking. We'll be at the strip club, like we'll, you know what I mean? Like not joking, I'm being for real. Like at restaurants, wherever, I'll show you how to get through it. If you need somebody in person to help you do it, I'll show you how to do it. Like all my phone numbers are people being on this phone is all people being gang stalked. Like there's like 50 people on my phone that are, it's no joke. Like this is no joke. There's like 50 people on my phone that are being gang stalked, and everything from marital issues to suicidal issues to people who want to hurt somebody but they should not hurt somebody and they know they shouldn't, but they won't. Like I talk all these people into coming to the best resolution from within, right? I teach people about, you know, the mimic effect, how to master the mimic effect. I also lecture on other subjects: Kabbalah, astrology, numerology, astral projection, lucid dreaming, channeling, remote viewing, extrasensory perception. I'm very symbol literate, you know, I'm cool all the way around. But if you're going through gang stalk and you're having a hard time, then I would participate in that. Like you can come to town. No, there's a bigger city not far from me. It'd probably be cooler if I met you there and we can go out and I'll be there with you, and you can be like, man, I was getting gang stalked and I went and met this guy and now I saw how he did it. And you can show people the pictures and stuff. If you're a man or a woman, you know, you just show up and just, you know, I'll show you how, and for the rest of your life you'll remember it. You'll be like, man, I thought I had to hide my house forever, or I thought my life was so horrible. I met this person who's going through gang stalking and they showed me step by step by step. Like I'll show you all kinds of neat tricks and steps. Like I've been learning it for almost 3 years. Taught myself. But And then you don't got to be ashamed to talk about, like, you probably, there's a lot of people out there, you don't want to know about your inner fears or your inner secrets, what's going on with you being gang stalked. And, I'm cool. I'm open to it. Because I've spoken to so many different people. I talked to people, like one woman, she slit her wrist and went to a psychiatric unit. And then she tried to kill herself on pills and went to a psychiatric unit. And she had her child taken away from her. And, like, even the doctors at the hospital were participating in the gang stalking assignments, and they were on the other side of the hallway making strange noises and stuff, making her think she was crazy. And she didn't even know what gang stalking was. She started watching an MK Ultra video, and she came across my video, and we talked for 2 hours, and she was crying like half the time. And she was like, "Oh my God, I'm so glad I found your video. I didn't even know what to do, Jamil. I thought no one understood what I was going through. I even thought I was crazy." For real, that's the type of stuff that happens. And I just let her know, like, you didn't do anything wrong. Like she went through hell. She tried to kill herself a few times, went to psychiatric units, and no one would help her. Her family wouldn't help her. Nobody would help her. But I was able to shed some light on the subject and talk to her. And I deal with a lot of extreme cases like that. The people can't go anywhere. I hope people understand that out there. Like, the people that I talk to, they can't go anywhere. Go get. I want somebody to show me through a phone book or somewhere on the internet where the people can. They can't go anywhere. You're talking about people who have exhausted every option of help, and they can't get help. They can't even go to the United Nations. It's over. It's over. They can't even go to the United Nations, and they're being systematically stalked every single day. So they call me like, "I need help. Like, I'm in pain. This is horrible." I'm like, "I know what you're talking about. It wasn't happening to me." Psychologically, I feel like I just got in a fight with a raccoon and survived it. Barely. Like, that's what it feels like. I'm going through for almost all kinds of things that happened to me. And so I know what they're going through. And so I just say, just relax, don't even trip off it. So if somebody came in and wanted to help me or something, I wouldn't have a problem with that. We can hang out, do whatever you want to do. But so that's what I'm here for. So my YouTube video is, my email is Rare Art of Society, RAREARTOF Society, SOCIETY @gmail.com. And that's what I like to do, is just communicate with people about gang stalking, or you say community stalking, group stalking, multi-stalking, organized stalking. I've heard terror stalking, covert stalk, whatever you want to call it. Like, or the target individual program, the gang stalking program, whatever you want to call it. I've heard it all. And so I just go through it. And so we started off talking about relationships. And so that's one of the things, that's a big struggle. All right, we got that down. Now, is there anything else I want to cover in this video? Let me see if I can get somebody on the line. Hold on, I'm gonna try and see if I can get somebody to speak on this issue, because I know a lot of people getting gang stalked on this phone. This phone's paranormal. This is like the X-File. This is the ghost.
Yeah, hello?
Hey, listen, can you?
This motherfucker is sleeping. I come over here. He didn't answer the door. My phone keeps fucking dying. And then the motherfucker's in the bushes, the cop, and I stop. And I see them doing the biting effect and the hell and all this other bullshit.
They're gang stalking you, huh?
Yeah,
Hey,
man,
can I film you? Hey, bro, I'm doing a YouTube video. Can I put this on the show just for this video?
What, like the audio you're saying? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't care. They uploaded your video. Somebody re-uploaded your video in Australia. You know that, right?
Oh, I know they keep up. I don't know. They're tripping. I mean, it's cool, but why do you think they're doing it? They're trying to get me to help people in Australia, huh?
I don't know. I guess so, or whatever.
Hey, his videos are crazy. Like, he zooms in slow motion with sound effects when he shows the people getting gang stalked.
Oh, those shorty guys?
Yeah.
You know, Productions, he showed a photo of his face. You know that, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, I seen him. Yeah, he was telling me he watches my stuff, and I watch his stuff too.
Yeah, he finally showed his face in his video now and all that. I could tell he's from Latin America and all that. He's right about that.
Yeah, he's cool.
I didn't know that. So now I'm going to the store to go to the bathroom. I'm knocking on the door, I'm ringing the door, the back door, the front door. I know he's not far. He just fell asleep or whatever. But my funky is dying, and I had to use the other car, the charger.
Right.
And that crap, man. I used the battery pack. Now in my car, it's like I'm not gonna keep banging on the door. He's the couch on the porch. And I'm sitting and it's 1%, then it goes back to 0, then the phone dies. But yeah, I'm starting to repeat myself. But yeah, go on.
Oh, I just talked to Mike. He said he was out of the hospital or whatever. Hey, I was talking about relationships on the internet, about gang stalking, and I was saying I wanted to ask you who do you think, like, if you can add your voice in it, who do you think is like the most attractive woman that's being gang stalked that's on YouTube? Like, can you like?
That Miley Davis, obviously, you already know my answer. You don't even have to ask me.
Miley Davis?
Yeah, but she disappeared. I don't know what's going on with her.
Oh, for real?
Well, you know what I'm talking about, bro. Yeah, but
I know. I'm trying to spark some controversy. Like, I'm trying to get people talking on the subject, so people will see the video and be like, "What? Well, who's he talking to?" Like, people. It'll get people like I'm gonna add it. I'm gonna network it into my course.
Yeah. I'm in another town, and it's so foggy out here, man. Like, the headlight out sticks out like a store, you know what? And this fog. And they're doing the brighting behind me. Or I don't know. It could be the LED lights, but you know, I go behind them or whatever. But it's just retarded. But you know, I'm just hungry. This nigga is sleeping. Oh yeah. Now I gotta use the bathroom. Oh man, I gotta go to another part of the fucking town to use the fucking bathroom. I don't even want to pitch in the photo. Oh man. Yeah. This is annoying.
Hey, are we lying about like when we say we're being gang stalked? Are we crazy? Are we making it up?
No, because I know you already know the two people that I talked to that work for you know what, and they're being stalked. So. Oh
yeah. Hey, but people pretend like people are stupid. They think all these people are on YouTube saying the same exact thing and everybody's just making it up. Are they crazy?
Yeah.
People are like, that's stupid if you think that, huh?
You know what, man? I need to get another phone. I need to get like a phone with a graphene battery that has a fast charger like that Motorola one. This shit ain't cutting it, man. This shit ain't cutting. I could buy a new battery, but I don't even think that's gonna cut it, man. Wait. You know what? Let me call you later because I gotta run to the bathroom and all that.
All right, bet.
I don't know if this guy's gonna wake up or whatever. I might have to drive home. This sucks monkey balls, man. Let me call you like in 20 minutes or something.
All right. Damn, he was being gang stalked, and as soon as he picked up the phone, you see that? How he was like, there was a car with a headlight, and there was somebody in a bush or something like that. Wasn't that crazy? But I always tell people who get, okay, time, I'm going to explain this to people, time is based on experience. If we were in outer space and there was no sunlight around us, it was just a black void, how would we calculate a linear experience? It would be based on experience, you know, we're doing this, we're doing that, we're doing this. That's how we would perceive time. The faster experiences go is the faster that time goes. Somebody who's being gang stalked goes through more social, at least more social experiences on definitely more social negative experiences. So the people being gang stalked live completely different. They're seeing, you know, it's like invisible hands. You see people being made at the stores to do certain things, and people walking the streets being made to do certain things. People doing this, people doing that. So the speed of society has zoomed up for me, and my perception of reality has enhanced, and it has gone faster than the average person. Like I'm literally going faster through time. This gets into quantum physics and vibration, because people carry a certain weight to their body, and if they hire people who look in certain ways to do these gang stalking assignments, like it's altering the physical reality around me through vibration and all this. Like it's very. I wish I was with somebody who had more of a better sense on like quantum physics and those types of things. You know, I dropped out of high school. I'm not that smart. I can barely read books. Like I don't know that much. Like I'm stupid compared to most people. But I wish I had somebody who, if I had some money, I could buy some more books, and I could pay for that kind of assistance to get people to come in and help me to save other people's lives. You know? So one of the things that gang stalking can be looked at in multiple ways. And so it's about exploring consciousness, the fabric of consciousness.
Oh shit! I meant to call my friend, not you. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like programmed to call you now. What the fuck?
Right. All right.
Let me call you back, man.
All right.
Yeah, I meant to call my friend, not you. I'm like, I guess I had you on my mind, and when I looked on the contact, I just see you by. All right, let's speak to you later, man. Cause this. Wait a minute. Is this nigga texting me? Oh no, fuck, it's the other guy. Oh man. All right, man. Let me call you back.
Shouldn't they donate some money? I don't think he got any books either. But alright, so we touched on relationships, and then we went from that. Eventually we got into the fabric of time and space and quantum physics and all that stuff. And different conclusions can be arrived at through gang stalking. I want to explain something to people. Linear time, as how we've been raised to look at it, it's an instrument we use. Like the concept of time linearly is a measure. It's an attempt to measure eternity. Saying that we have time and we have calendars, we want to measure eternity. And a lot of people ask, where does time come from? How could there always be a God in the universe? Time is a subject that comes from within creation. The concept of time, minutes, seconds, hours, that's a concept created by man within creation. So creation is not subjected to time. Time is something created from within creation by man. And going a little bit further into this concept, the past and the future are illusions, and they both exist in the now. So yesterday and tomorrow don't even exist. Those are both different perspectives and different aspects of the now. 5,000 years ago doesn't even exist. If you believe it exists, then show me something of it. You may go get an artifact and say, look here, Jamil, this is the past, but you're showing it to me in the now. It's just a different perspective of the now. That picture that you got from 100 years ago or 50 years ago, that's a different perspective of the now. And then our perspective of what's going to come in the future is a different perspective of the now. So the past and the future simultaneously exist in the now. Okay, now, if we go with that, then we can say how people look at time linearly. The past and the future get changed in the now. Because you may tell me, guess what? 20 years ago, this is what happened, and I may be able to show you something different. You may say that my college informed me that this is what happened 50 years ago or 20 years ago, and I may say, well, your college lied to you. I'm about to school you I'm about to school you, and I go and I give them the real information about how they've been lied to, and they say, you know what, the college did lie to me, something else happened, and I say, I told you, and so the past changed. So the present changed. They say, wait a minute, if that's not what really happened in the past, then what people are saying is going on right now isn't what's really going on. I say, yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to tell you. And so they say, why pay all that money for the books and everything? I don't know. And so the past is in the now, and then they say if that's not what happened and the present changes, then that means the future can be, yeah. So the past and the future in the present, and then we're talking about the gang stalking and quantum physics and time. Like, if I had the right kind of money and the right books, if somebody could help me, I could, like, we might even be able to stop gang stalking. Like, we might, I'm for real, we might even be able to stop it. Like, we can stop it for real. And so if I just had the right books, I'm trying to learn, like, if I had somebody who could teach me how to read a little bit better, and I had somebody who could help me do the things I could do, and somebody who was caring and accepting and understanding of my trials and tribulations on a day-to-day basis being stalked, and wanted to sit down and help me do stuff better, you know, like, I got problems learning, you know, I need help. And it could help me come across, you know, we could really get out there and help. A lot more people's lives would be saved, that'd be for sure. And so that's one of the things that I'm trying to create with people. And so just, you know, if you can just donate a few dollars or something, or you can email me or help me in any way you can, or you just want to come kick it or call me on the phone, my email address is, again, rareartofsociety@gmail.com. And so, you know, like, where we're going, there is no roads. I say we might be able to stop gang stalking when we get through. Mess around and go back in time and recreate, you know what I mean, like Time Cop or something. But I talk to all sorts of interesting people. I know a lot of people, and again, I was saying this earlier, I think it was in this video, the MK Ultra program. I know people who are going through, I know people who are real MK Ultra survivors, not people just on YouTube pretending to be super soldiers and pretending to be Project Monarch and Project Artichoke or Project Rainbow and all this. I know MK Ultra had 149 sub projects. You had the main project, I like to call it Mein Kampf Ultra, then you had 49 sub projects, right? And out of universities and jails and penitentiaries and all these different hospitals and stuff, and they operated all these different places and throughout everywhere. It happened everywhere. And I met people who are true mind control survivors. When they were children, they were abused and hurt, and they had, like, some of these people have altered personalities to where you can sit down and show them a picture of themselves and they won't even recognize themselves in the altar. Like, I've seen people who have altars where there'll be one personality and they'll see their picture and they won't even recognize themselves. They'll have to wait till that altar comes back. I mean, for real mind control. I know people like that. And so it goes back to the old research on those experiments they did over the years. So some of my favorite are the Dr. Delgado, not my favorite as you know, but my favorite research: Delgado, Gottlieb, Cameron. Man, there's a whole lot more. I'm missing people. Hold on. Mengele was an MK Ultra. Jolyon West, I forgot. Dr. Jolyon West. Yeah.